Hi guys. Alright, so this is our third attempt at making this video. We've just had some technical difficulties where we recorded essentially the whole thing and then realized that it was not recording. So we're gonna do this again, and we've already fed the rabbits and everything. That was part of the first video, but I mean, we'll do more videos on that. But we're just gonna introduce you to some of the rabbits and some of the hutches and let you know about our process. This is our first official Growout pen. Dirk built this recently. Probably 98% of the materials used on this are recycled from other projects that we've done around the homestead. Repurposing is huge for us. It saves us so much money because who can really afford to go to Lowe's or go to Home Depot and buy everything that you need for a project? It's just not feasible. And let's be honest, the rabbits don't care what their house looks like. So this here is our Army of Darkness, as I like to call them. They're all from one kit, and they're super cute. I realized here recently that we were going through a lot of bags of rabbit feed, and so I did some more research, and it turns out I was drastically overfeeding them. They should only get about a quarter cup max of pellet a day, and I was giving them about a cup and a half to 2 cups a day. So we were going through a 40-50 pound bag of rabbit feed every 2 to 3 days. And I told Dirk, I said, this is not gonna work. And then that's when I started doing my research, and I said, oops. But you know, it's all a learning experience, and hopefully somebody watching this might realize that they too are overfeeding their rabbits and then can save themselves some money. But the hay is a lot cheaper, and the hay is actually supposed to be something that they have in their cage with them 24/7. And obviously if it's nighttime, whatnot, rabbits are active at night as well, so you can't always come out here and make sure that they're filled up. But if you try to make sure that the hay that you put in there when you feed them is at least the size of the rabbit itself, it's a good start, good way to go. So we've got all these little munchkins, different doe than the Army of Darkness, but they are also from the same kit. So it's really cool to see how many different variations of color and hair length that you can get from one kit. It's really cool. And then they come in here as soon as they're weaned from their mom, and they will live in here until they're ready to go to freezer camp or until they get sold live. We do sell rabbits live as well if someone wants one as a pet. We don't discriminate. So come over here, and this is our doe hutch, the first of several, I'm sure. You can see my little makeshift wind blocks that I did. Excuse you, we have a little temperamental rabbit that likes to stomp. When we got the cold snap a little while ago this year, I went ahead and just roughly cut some of these out and zip tied them just to provide a wind and snow block for the rabbits, and they've worked pretty well. Once the weather starts warming up again, they'll come off and be saved for next year. Or next year we might have something a little bit more official and not as rickety. But we'll introduce you to some of the rabbits. Hi, Butters. This is Butters, and she is an absolute sweetheart. She's not old enough yet to breed, but in about a month she will be, and I think she's gonna make a great mom. And she's just hopping around, munching on her fresh hay. You can see we just put this hay in here maybe 15 minutes ago, and she's already started to get it scattered. So rabbits are messy, but they're cute, so they can get away with it. We have little mini Pep here. Her mom was actually our very first rabbit, and we got her as a pet before we ever had any intentions of breeding. And actually what got us into breeding was that a friend of ours had a couple rabbits that she wasn't able to show, so we took them on. And we didn't realize that, well, one of them was a buck, and we thought one was a buck and one was a doe, and turns out both of them were bucks. So that's how we started getting into breeding. We figured we've got the does, we've got the bucks, let's try it out. And what's really cute is her mom is also a solid black rabbit with one tiny little white spot on her foot. So we really do have a duplicate replacement. And Pepperoni, since she started as our pet, she's going to live her life here until she passes naturally. We're not going to send her to freezer camp. She's going to be our nursing home rabbit. And this is our little stomper, Oreo. She's pretty timid, but once you get her out, if you're holding her, she's just as sweet as can be. Also, still too young to breed, but here probably in about a month and a half, 2 months, we'll be able to breed her. Little bit. What you doing, darling? Little Bit will be giving us a kit here within the week, so she's busy in nesting mode. She's an absolute disaster with all this hay, but you can see she started to add some of it to the bedding I've put in her nesting box. She's just preparing, and then she'll start to pull her fur probably a day or two before is usually when she does, and she pulls so much fur you would think that she wouldn't have another hair on her body. But she's a great mom. She's protective. Most of the other ones, if you need to go examine the babies, whatnot, they'll just let you do their thing. They'll be a little curious. She'll bite you. You gotta watch out. But she's just protecting her offspring, doing what comes naturally to her. And this is my pride and joy, Teddy. He was a super curly haired rabbit when he was a baby, and I'd never seen that before, and it turns out that curly hair is actually a genetic abnormality, so you wouldn't be able to show him. But I fell in love with him, and he became a bit of an internet sensation because of his curly hair, and he's a doll. Big love bug.
Good rabbit.
And then next door to him is his dad. And this was our first buck that we ever got. Oh, now don't you try to hop out. He's messy too. I found, litter box training with rabbits is supposed to be very, very easy. Easier than cats. But we've never kept a rabbit indoors. We have 320 square feet, so it's not very optimal for indoor pets. But I've noticed that since we've started feeding them the hay, and with as much as I've been giving them, the majority of them will make their own bathroom station with some of the hay that I put in there. So it's really interesting to see them do what comes naturally to them. And this is the Love Shack. So these are both our bucks, and Dirk is in the process of building a second Love Shack for our other two bucks. And then that'll probably be about where we stay with bucks. There's really not any need to have even 4 if you're a breeder. But I'm the type that, if I fall in love with them, I'm going to keep them around and put them to work. So we'll see. But it's a fun process, and we've got more. We've got about 45 rabbits right now, with 2 about to kit within the week. So in one of the upcoming videos, we'll take you to the bunny barn and show you a couple of the other hutches and some of the other rabbits, probably once the new kits come. That way we can show those as well in all their cuteness. But it's fun. We encourage everyone to get into rabbits. It's one of the best proteins that there is out there, super flavorful, and if you can't bring yourself to eat them, they make great pets. So that is our demonstration of some of our rabbit hutches. Next time we'll make sure that the GoPro is active and recording when we're doing our full feeding process. But until next time, keep on keeping on, friends.